Hey everybody, I just came on here to say something really quick, and I just wanted to say that if you there's so many marriages in the world that I've been seeing that are just falling apart, and it breaks my heart because you marry someone because you love them. I mean that's at least who I'm addressing, is the people. If you married because you loved someone, you saw something in them that said I can't imagine not spending my life without them, and you liked what you saw so much that you wanted to marry them. But then we see all the bad stuff about that person, and we see, oh wow, they're not maybe what I thought they were, because you didn't live with that person, and you saw things, and we don't know the turmoil that's inside of that person that we're marrying. And so it comes against us when they come at us a certain way, and it rubs us the wrong way, and we end up doing things and saying things or reacting in ways that we're like, wow, I never dreamed that. But then, and I'm not necessarily, I guess, talking about marriages where there was physical abuse and all that is just totally bad. That's not, forget that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about marriages that had, like, they were just, it brought stuff out in you because of the way one of the mates said certain things, and it brought stuff out of you, and you said some things, and you guys, maybe there was a lot of fighting going on and stuff like that. But I'm talking about marriages that also had a lot of good in them. There was a lot of great times also. But see, what happens is our brains don't remember the good stuff. They always dwell on the bad, and it also tells us, like, all things will never change. Things will always be that way. But I want to encourage people with this video that if you truly loved them and married them, that you my feeling is, people say I fell out of love. That's a cop out. Marriage is supposed to be forever. How can you fall out of love with someone? I mean, you may not like what they're doing, but the person itself, see, we don't separate the wrongdoings from the person. How can you sit there and say you fall out of love with someone? I just don't. That's just my opinion. People all my life I've asked that, they'll say, yeah, you can fall out of. I personally don't understand how you can, because what you're focusing on is the bad things that they're saying and doing towards you. If you could and think back, like, because I guarantee you, like I said, I'm not talking about where someone's like just crazy and abusing and just cusses the person out all the time, and there's always abuse, there's never no good. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in a marriage where there was a lot of bad, but there was also as equally amount as good. Why are we, if you saying you fell out of love, why don't you focus on the good qualities of that person? And there still may be problems to where it was bad enough to separate. But if you've seen at least half good, why would you just be so quick to push that person away and say, I'm done with you, I'm divorcing you, and I'm all this? Especially a lot of marriages today, I find out, are not even lasting 2-3 years. And it's a lifetime. Separate. Why does separation, if you feel like it's getting overwhelming and to separate, but why does separation always have to lead into divorce? Why do we always have to why wouldn't we look at that? And especially if we're Christians, I'm seeing even a lot of Christian couples. Like, why wouldn't you pray that God would better your marriage and use this time to strengthen each other, and that God would save it and do something? And why would you just automatically just give up, for one, with God, not giving him a chance, and two, believe that person, if you married them because you loved them, and instead of just giving up on that person, why don't you slowly ease back into it? Call them and stuff. Talk to them from time to time. Do different things to see if they've really changed and stuff. And meet out in public, in a public spot, if you're not ready to. And give them a chance, because people do change. There is a God. There is a God. And if you loved someone and there was good in the marriage, why? Just what I'm trying to say is, like, why wouldn't you still have hope and believe that God could change that person, or we could love even not only again, but even stronger and better? Just nowadays, all we do is we throw people away, and we just like next, and we don't even give But even if there's one person in the relationship, say you're being pushed away by your mate or whatever, don't allow that to harbor anything. That's where change first got to start with you. So if they've rejected you and pushed you away, don't sit around thinking like, oh, how dare they do this. Just still think loving thoughts about them. Pray for them that God will help them. Pray that love will come back. But don't think good thoughts about them. Think about all the good qualities that are the good memories you had together. But don't give, if you truly love someone, all I want to say on this video, this is pretty much it. Like, don't give up on your marriage. If you loved, you can love again. Like, even in the marriages where it's really, really bad and there was abuse, I've heard situations where, obviously you want to separate from that, but God can still change people. Like, that's all I want to say is like there are miracles, there is a God, and He does great things. And if you truly loved at once, you can love again and even greater. That's what I want to say. I know it's hard, and and I believe it's not about fighting back and forth and saying my wife was all the problems or my husband was all the problems. If there's a downfall in a marriage, it's both. But our minds and the devil is definitely not going to want you to work it out. Instead, he tries to tell you, oh, they'll never change. Oh, remember how they. But if you truly, truly love God and you truly, truly love your mate, because I don't really believe in falling out of love. Like I said, I believe you choose to just not love. You choose to focus on the bad in that person and obviously you don't believe in him enough or God enough that He could actually change that person to where they would be. I've seen stories here recently on YouTube where couples were fighting and were bad all the time and stuff, and then they got back together. I mean, they were like headed for divorce, and they fought all the time, and God got a hold of them and He changed them and stuff like that. So I know that stuff is real. God changes couples and stuff, but you have to believe it yourself. But just don't give up loving on your mate. Don't give up on God. I hope this encourages people. God bless everybody.